All right, hello. Let's begin. This is Computer Science 201. I am Eric Hamilton, and I will be teaching this class. I'll wait until I see the number of viewers going up, so I'll wait until we have a few more people before we start everything formally. I think a number of people watched the 1 o'clock session. There's been a bit of confusion about it. Have all of you joined the YouTube office hours? Authenticated, etc.? I'll probably wait another minute or two. Hello. Yeah, more people are finding their way in. Just like a real classroom, huh? Well, there's no YouTube office hours, thank God. There's Discord office hours. Oh, did I say YouTube office hours? I don't know what I mean anymore. Yeah. Yeah, there's no YouTube office hours. Yeah, so this is going to be the same as the 1 o'clock lecture. I just wanted to have the first lecture be, I wanted to do both of them. I may end up not continuing this practice, but I will at least start out doing this. Maybe just for the first week, so that everybody can, so that there's less confusion. But yeah. Okay. So I'm going to begin. I think we're good. I think we have about half the class, which is, maybe that's right. I think a number of people did show up to the, yep, it's the CMSC 201 server, that's right. Okay, so let's go over the syllabus a little bit, and that's what we're going to spend half the time today on, and then we'll do the rest of it on tutorials for how to get set up. So this is, as I say, CMSC 201. Let me zoom in on this thing just a little bit. Okay, that way everybody can kind of read it as we're going. If you are curious about the link, I think I've sent out the link, but I'll just post it here. Okay, so you can track along with me on the syllabus if you want. So, okay. Yeah, so this is Introduction to Computer Science 1. So what does that mean? That means that we are beginning, no, we are not covering neural modeling backpropagation. That is for AI. So, okay. Yeah, so the idea of this class is that we're going to introduce you to the ideas of programming, the ideas of computer science, and we're going to do it basically through the Python language. Python is it's a good learning language, and it's kind of okay/good. It works. It'll do what you need to do. It's really good for certain applications, and it's really easy to code in. So it's a much better language to learn first than some other languages. So I guess that's good. But anyway, Python was chosen as the starting language, so I guess we will learn Python this semester. So I am the course coordinator, which basically means I make the assignments, but also there's two other professors, Al Arsenault and Marcella Wilson, and those are two of the other professors. My email is this. Actually, I could actually just put the Discord link in here. Maybe I'll do that. Let us do that. There we go. Cool. So the first real thing to talk about is the recommended textbook for the class. I'm not going to be referencing the textbook all that much, but I do like the textbook. I've kind of skimmed through it, and it basically covers things in the order that we cover them, and it covers them in the depth that we cover them, and it's a good reference book. I actually do like this book quite a lot. The book is called Python Crash Course, 2nd edition. I mean, technically, it really doesn't matter. You could have the 1st edition, you could have the 2nd edition. This edition, on the other hand, is $17. So I don't think it's that much of an ask if you want to pick up a copy of the book. If you really, really are like, I am never going to use this book, I refuse to open a textbook ever in my life, then you don't have to get it. But again, I suggest you purchase it just so that you'll have a good Python reference. It's another reference outside of me, right? I am not this guy, so... Okay. Alright, so let's go on. So basically this is the same thing that I usually just copy-paste right out of the university course description. So let's read it. An introduction to computer science through problem solving and computer programming. Yep. Selected topics in computer science are introduced through programming projects in the Python language running under a Unix operating system. Yeah, basically. The core material for this course includes functions, strings, loops, and files, if statements, variables. I mean, this is a pared down list. It's not really complete. You know, we'll talk about conditionals, variables, recursion, classes, objects, and files. Okay. Programming techniques covered by this course include modularity, abstraction, top-down design, specifications. I'm focusing less on a lot of this stuff this time. We will talk about modularity. We will talk a bit about abstraction when we talk about classes. I'm going to talk a little bit less about this kind of stuff just because I think before you really know too much about programming, all of this stuff is really just extra. It's not terribly helpful at first. Okay. So, and then here's some course objectives. So hopefully by the end you'll be able to solve some programming problems. You'll be able to define key who cares about that? Make use of problem-solving skills. That's really the same thing as number 1. Explain and apply the proper steps in creating a computer program. Maybe. Demonstrate the ability to debug a program. This is where you're going to be spending 95% of your time. Use the Unix system. Yep, you're going to have to do that. Transfer the skills, hopefully, to the future. That's always nice, right? It's nice to go into the future. So let's discuss the grading scheme for the course, okay? So the grading scheme for this class is that homework 0, the one that we just released today, is worth 10 points, okay? And what else do I want to say about it? That's it. I'll talk about homework 0 when we get to homework 0. I assume that some of you have looked at it already. I'm sure some of you are wondering how to do it. If you've not logged onto the Linux server, if you see all the people from the first section panicking and all that stuff, the right answer is don't worry. Don't panic, right? This is like Hitchhiker's Guide. Don't panic. Get your towel. It's okay. I'm going to guide you through the process to get onto the GL servers today, and I'm going to guide you through as much as possible. So don't panic yet. Okay. Okay. So then we're going to have 6 homeworks. Each one is going to be worth 50 points. Every time I say 50 points, I always think like Harry Potter now. It's like 50 points to Gryffindor or something like that. But anyway, yeah, so 50 points per assignment, and that'll be 300 total points. Projects, there are going to be 3 of them this semester. There's going to be one kind of basic project where we're going to test if statements, for loops, functions, that kind of stuff. The next one is going to be a little bit more advanced, and then the third one is going to usually test recursion. So that's usually how the projects in this course go. So project 1 is usually basic stuff, if statements, loops, a few functions. Project 2 is usually a bit more involved, but it's usually just if statements, loops, and functions again. And then the last one will be some kind of recursion project. So, and we'll talk more about that as we get on in the course. All right, so labs. So I built this nice new lab functionality. So all of you, when you sign on to the Discord office hours, and I said Discord this time, you notice, instead of whatever I said before, labs are going to be, for most people, they're going to be once a week. In the lab, you will get an assignment. That assignment will be some kind of practice, some kind of thing that reinforces the learning that we did in the week. I'm telling the TAs that I'm going to generally require attendance. So what will attendance mean? I'll talk about that once that gets set up. But the point is that labs are going to be submitted also on the GL system, which, of course, you might be like, what's the GL system? Wait for me to tell you. Okay. The next thing is that there's going to be 3 exams. There's going to be a first midterm, a second midterm. They're both 75 points. So you notice that the midterms are actually worth less than individual projects. And so the reason for this is because I am down-weighting assignments. I'm down-weighting exams, I should say. I did have exams, in previous semesters, they were weighted a little bit more. Like, the final exam was 200 points, and this one was 125 points, and actually this one was the same, but I have down-weighted the whole exam category. The reason why I did this is because exams are actually different online. Generally, what I'm going to do for exams online is I'm going to give you a multiple choice, basically giganto quiz. It's going to be like 10, 15, 20 multiple choice questions on Blackboard. You'll do those, and then there will be a coding part of the question, and you'll submit all of that through the GL server. And, yeah. Okay, so that's really it. And so that's how the exams are going to run. They're going to be half multiple choice and half is going to be coding. And if you ask, like, what's the difficulty level of the homework, or the exam questions, the coding questions, they will be like the homework type questions, maybe just a little bit more involved. So that's generally that. Before we release the first project, I am going to actually reinstitute an academic integrity quiz. The reason for this is because I have to, well, do I have to do it? No, but I'm going to do it. So, and so there's a total of 1,000 points in the course for the semester. So what do I say about that? What's the academic integrity quiz? You'll find out when you get it. It's fine. You don't. I am not doing any respondus. We're not doing any lockdown. We're not doing any kind of thing like that. I believe in, like, maybe student privacy, or I believe that I shouldn't do any of that to students, so I won't. And so basically we've built the exams and the other stuff to make cheating a little bit more difficult. We do rely on you to be honest and not to do it. So please, do your best to not cheat on exams. But I'm not going to require you to do any kind of thing like that. Okay, the academic integrity quiz is going to be a multiple choice quiz on Blackboard. That's all it's going to be. Okay, so now here, if you look at the grading scale, it's 90, 80, 70, 60 basically. It's a 90 or a 900 gets you an A, 800 gets you a B, 700 gets you a C, 600 gets you a D, and less than 600 gets you an F. And let's hope that everybody gets into these 2 categories this semester and, just make me happy. If I don't have to give any C's, that'd be the best thing in the universe. But anyway. So, I put up a link to my YouTube channel here, so hopefully this works. Does it work? And we're on. So look, this is the lecture we're watching now. Look at that. Cool. So, all right. What else do I want to talk about with the lectures? Some 201 lectures are online already because they're the lectures that I gave last semester. You're free to watch them. I don't really suggest it because they'll be kind of out of order. And since the first half of the semester wasn't online, there's a lot that we're going to skip. If you get a 799, I will probably round, but don't tell anyone, okay? So, all right. Office hours. Office hours are on the Discord server. The link to it has been provided to you already, and you've already authenticated. Most of you, I think, have already authenticated. Let's check to see how many people are on the Discord server right now. There's 171 students online, and then there are something like 155 people offline. So that means currently we have about 200 people who have yet to join the Discord server. Okay, so what's up next? So basically, I think most of you have joined, which means that you have gone through the process. The bot has authenticated you, and you have your name on the server. Again, if you want to change your name for legal reasons or emotional reasons or whatever kind of reasons you have, as long as it's like a reasonable name and not, Trogdor the Burninator, you can definitely do that. It just has to be something that the TA and I will use to identify you. So we can't have people picking nicknames on the server. It just gets too complicated. And also the problem is that I do want people to know who everyone else is. You know what I mean? Because this is a class that used to be in person. People used to be able to make friends here. And so it's nice if you actually get a feel for some people, like who people are. Okay. So yeah, go to the Discord office hours. If you have any problems with the Discord, you should send me an email and we can work on it. If you have any problems once you get onto the Discord, then you can ask in the tech support channel. All right? Cool. All right, projects and homeworks. You've seen how Homework 0 is released, and you've seen how I post it as kind of an announcement on Discord and Blackboard and blah, 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 and you get an email. I'm generally going to try to maintain that standard. It'll be an announcement on Blackboard and Discord. Yeah, I think that's basically true. Anywhere there are memes. And so I think that, what was I going to say about homeworks? Yes, so homeworks are going to be done through the GL system, and I'm going to show you how to log into the GL system very soon. Submissions will be due 11:59:59, generally on Fridays. The first one is due Wednesday, but generally on Fridays. So as I say here, and I actually wrote this part, the system is automatic, which means if I haven't given you an extension, you're not getting one, right? If I don't know that you want an extension, the system will close and you will not be able to submit. So, and I'm not closing it manually. It will close exactly at 12 o'clock on the next day, so don't, 12 a.m. on Saturday, so don't, what should I say? Don't be late. You're generally going to have about a week to do each homework. You'll have 2 weeks to do each project. So if you get stuck, there are TAs, there are office hours. We're getting the office hour times online, but other than that, it's basically running. I think it stands for, I actually forget now. GL is the name of our general access Unix. Yeah, so this is what it says. GL is the name of our Unix systems here at UMBC managed by blah. Do it. Anyone with a UMBC account can access GL. I think it's like general user, general whatever, I don't know. Let's see, where am I? Crap. Okay. Let me pull this down. All right. Have to pull the thing back up. Where did I stick it? I must have stuck it somewhere. Well, I'll get it later. Okay. I guess I really should. Oh no, I guess I can actually just do this. Come on. Okay. So let's move on. Almost there. I lost my channel, so I lost all the comments. They're somewhere in some kind of place. I have 800,000 tabs open right now, so I'm just a little bit. There we go. Okay. So structure of the midterms, I talked about exams already. Course policies, this is the general course policy, no late work will be accepted. The reason why I say this is mainly because A, we want to be as cautious as possible, and B, we want to say that, like, if you need an extension, you should come to us not the night of the due date, you should come to us a few days ahead of time. I mean, granted, if you get into like a car accident or something, that's something, but otherwise you should definitely come to us ahead of time and ask me for an extension. Do not wait until the last day, because then late work will not be accepted, okay? So here's some stuff, and then GRS, guided review sessions. So GRS is if you have discussion 2 days, not just one, then you will have a GRS section. So the first GRS section of the week is going to be a bit of a review, and the second GRS section is going to be the lab. So for most people, you're just going to have a discussion section. So how do you go to your discussion section? How you go to your discussion section is you get on Discord and you go into your discussion section at the time that is appointed, okay? So that's how you do it. You just go there when you are supposed to, and then your TA will give you about a 5 to 10 to 15 minute lecture on the material, and then you will be given the lab assignment, okay? And so once you get the lab assignment, you can complete it, and you'll submit that. Guess where? You'll submit it on GL. So, okay, and then here's the last part of the syllabus that I have to talk about. So, oh, and what should I say about GRS? If you don't have a lot of programming experience, GRS is the right section for you. If you have a lot of programming experience, GRS may not be the section for you, but it's also kind of okay if you're in there. So the idea of GRS is that you will build up your coding ability there, and you can learn more because you'll have an extra hour a week of help. All right. Cool. All right. So, yeah. So if you want, I was working on a way. I was thinking, I haven't done this yet, but if you want, I might be able to get people access to GRS sections if you just want to get that extra lecture a week. You don't have to join the GRS section. You still go to your original discussion section for your lab, but you will go to the GRS section for extra help on the first day, either Monday of Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday of Tuesday, Thursday. You're in 341. Get out. Wait, it crashed. Okay. Cool. A webpage. So, all right. I mean, you can watch this if you're in 341. It just, you don't have to. This is for 201. So, cool. All right, here's the unpleasant part that I have to discuss. Academic integrity. It's a huge issue in 201. It's a huge issue every single semester. Why is it a big issue? Because people come into this class, and when they start to struggle, people do not ask for help, and then they'll end up going to a website like Chegg, or they start paying a tutor for solutions, or they go to, I don't know, Course Hero or wherever. There's a bunch of websites out there, and I've seen in the last few years, like in the last year, a major uptick in the amount of cheating from these websites. People will get the solutions and then share them around. And so we do check. We check for duplicate code. We check for similar code. We check for code that is using the Chegg solutions and other solutions that are given out online. So please, do not copy things off the internet. Do not ask other students in this class about how to do problems. Like, if you want to talk, if you want to study for exams together, that is completely fine. But what is the distinct homework problems, the ones that are given out as homework problems, except homework 0, obviously, all the other homework problems except homework 0, do not discuss them at all with other people. Okay, that's the safest way to avoid any of this. Okay, do not discuss homework problems. Do not discuss projects. Pretend that you are in a secret society and that you cannot share anything that you have done with your project or homework with other students in this class. The reason why we have this conversation now, and so, you know, I personally hate doing it. You know, I really do. But we see so much cheating in this class. So, yeah. If you cheat and we catch you, then what's going to happen is you're going to have a meeting. And the meeting is going to be with me, and I will show you the code, and I will show you the code that you copied off of, and then you'll either tell me a lie or you'll tell me the truth, and really either way it doesn't matter. Can you ask TAs for help? Yes. So the idea here is that if you end up in one of these meetings with me, you will get a 0 on the first time that you do it, and you'll get an F in the course if there's a second occurrence, okay? And if we don't catch you and you cheat twice before I catch you, I can still give you an F for the course. It does not matter that you haven't been caught yet, okay? So some of the cheaters were like, well, I was only caught after my 3rd cheating assignment. Can I please not fail the course? And I'm like, no, look, you cheated on all 3 projects. There's nothing, we're not going to do anything for you. So please do not end up in this boat, okay? That is my begging, pleading with you. And you might be like, wow, this guy is really harping on this stuff. Why does he care so much? Here's why I care. Because every one of these meetings is about 10 to 15 minutes, right? I'll tell you that in a second. So okay, what was I even saying? I was answering a question. Right. So here's the thing. The reason why I'm harping on this is because if we get a billion cheaters, which we usually get somewhere between 8 to 10% of the class, which in this class, since I'm the course chair of it, there's about 550 people. That means about 55 cases this semester, if everything goes as it does on average, right? So let's beat the average here. Let's aim for 0. Right? Because if we can aim for 0, that'd be great. But if I have to do all those meetings, that is a huge amount of meetings, okay? And that is why I do not want to sit in any more meetings than I have to. I hate meetings. I really hate them. Yeah, if you find a solution off Stack Overflow, you can't use it. No, do not. So here's the thing. If you find some... Okay, that depends. If you find 3 lines for a specific problem out of the entire project, we're probably never going to find that. But if it's weird enough, then we might catch it. If it's using stuff that's so advanced that we know that we haven't taught it, then it might cause suspicion, and if the rest of your project looks weird, then yeah, that's a problem. So, okay. So here's a helpful little list of things. This was not written by me. This was written by a prior course chair, and I generally agree with it. So here's the thing. Can you get help from an instructor or TA? Yes. Do that, right? Can you consult the Python documentation? Yes, you can do that. Can you discuss course topics? Right? Yes, you can do that. So if you have some friends and you're talking to them about how to write a certain for loop or how to do a certain function or whatever, totally fine, okay? As long as it's not a specific solution to a homework problem, okay? That's the problem. You don't discuss things. If someone's like, hey, how do you declare functions in Python? And you show them, that is not cheating. That is not cheating. If you say, hey, how do you write this loop that is the solution to homework problem, 3 part 4? That's on the other side of the line, okay? So creating, sharing, copying notes about course topics, that's allowed. Getting help about the GL system, totally allowed. Comparing output from your assignments, definitely allowed. So let me show you what that means. You're allowed to compare output from your assignments. So if your calculation shows you something and someone else's calculation shows them something else, you're allowed to compare output from your programs. You are not allowed to compare code, right? Can you talk about them after they're due? Yes, to some degree. So I would still recommend don't share code after they're due. So there was an instance a few semesters ago where a guy decided, oh, I will get an extension from the professor. So he did. This was not actually in my class, but he got an extension from the professor. And then he asked his friend, he said, hey friend, I don't think I did very well in the project. Can I see your code? And friend was like, sure, it's not due. It's been due, so it shouldn't be cheating anymore. So here's my code. Person submits their exact code. They didn't even modify it, right? They didn't even modify it. And so don't do that. So don't share your code even after it's due, even with a friend, because people have been betrayed that way. And if you're wondering what we actually did in that case, the person who was totally confused about why they were called in, once we figured out that this other person basically got their code after the due date, we did let them off. So we didn't convict them of cheating. We didn't give them a 0 for the project. The other person certainly did get a 0 for the project. That was a no-go. But yeah, so basically the idea here is that, I'm just trying to protect you from any potential instance of this. Exactly. So, right. So let's talk about the things that are not allowed. Do not debug someone else's code. Why? Because then you're seeing their code. Should you brainstorm general solutions to the assignment? This one I think is kind of marginal. I'm going to put marginal here. It really depends on what that means. If brainstorming you're thinking like, I have an idea about the solution, maybe you should check this thing, that's probably okay. If, on the other hand, you say, well, the first thing I would do is write this for loop, and the second thing I would do is this, and then the third thing I would do is calculate this, that's not okay, right? So it's marginal. It depends kind of on how, exactly what is happening there. So don't debug someone's code. Explaining why you made a specific decision in your code. Well, if you're explaining why you made a specific decision, then someone can see your code, and that's no good. Looking at someone else's code, no. Neither with their permission or without their permission. Looking at someone else's code on your screen, no. Copying someone else's code, no. 2 or more people writing a single solution to assignment, no. Collaborating with someone who's not a blah, 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 no. And definitely don't purchase solutions, okay? Either from a tutor or a website. The way that we usually check cheating in that case is we will call you in, and this is what we do, and I'll tell you right up front what we do. If we think that a tutor has written your solution because it's using really advanced features, I ask you, okay, did you cheat on this code? And you'll say, of course I didn't. And then I will say, aha, explain what this code does. And almost 100% of people who I've asked that to do that cannot even vaguely explain what the lines of code do. I'm not saying they get it slightly wrong. I'm saying they get it very wrong in a way that it can't possibly mean what they think it means. So it won't help you to purchase advanced solutions. If someone's using advanced Python features to do something, it's not going to help you, okay? All right. So, please listen to this. And if this is the last time I have to say anything about academic integrity, I will be the happiest person in the physical universe, right? So just help me out, okay? All right, cool. And so with that, my speech on academic integrity is closed. And now I can go on to... So now I can actually go into the course, all right? And I don't know why I minimized that. I shouldn't have minimized that. Oh, right, that doesn't have what I need. What am I going to do? Right, the next thing I'm going to do is, will I give you extra credit if no one cheats? If 0 people cheat, yeah, I'll give you a 1%. I'll give you all an extra 10 points. And if you think I'm kidding, I am not freaking kidding. I am telling you the truth. You can't get paid to report people for cheating. Let's not even get into the difficulties in that. Okay, so what am I doing? So let's talk about office hours a little bit. So some of you have seen how office hours works. Maybe some of you haven't. So let me pull up my office hour. So this is my secret student account. And here is what you should generally see, okay? You should see, once you log in, you'll see announcements, and here's homework 0, and here is the channel. If you want help, you go to the waiting room, you scroll to the bottom, and maybe I'll go clear all but pinned. Oh wait, that's not me. You go to the waiting room, and so let me do that this way. There we go. Let's see if it does it. Cool. So now what you want to do is you want to type in request and be like, please help me. I am very lost and need much help. And what you'll notice is that the the message will disappear, but don't fear, it still exists. It is now in student requests. You see, here is my Discord, and you see, Through a Mirror Darkly is asking for help. Please help me. I am very lost and in need of help. And so I am going to go accept. Now this you don't see. This is the part you don't see, because this is what the TAs are doing on their side. They hit accept, and then eventually, because we've created so many rooms, so you also don't see all the lab sections, but I do because I am the Discord server admin, which of course is not necessarily the best thing in the universe. So now you see your little help section. So I go, help me. And then Eric the prof will respond, no. Very good. So right. So basically the idea here is that you'll get help, and if you need to, you can even go into this voice chat. And once you're in the voice chat, whoops, stop it. Once you're in the voice chat, you can share your screen if you want. You can do video chat. You can do a whole bunch of things. So talk to your TA. If you want to share your screen with them, then you can share your screen. And so that's why there's a voice chat channel here. You can't just share your screen for text chat. Cool. All right. Is there anything else that I have to say about Discord office hours? Right. So generally in the section text, in the lab section, you'll go to your lab section. Oh, here's Jeff Martin, one of our best TAs. And you'll say hi to him if he's your TA. If he's not your TA, which he isn't because none of you are in lab section 61, you will say hi to your own TA. Is there a scheduled time for office hours? We are attempting to fill out the office hour schedule from approximately 8 in the morning to approximately 6 at night when it closes. So TAs grade your code, so TAs can see your code. So TAs are totally allowed to see your code, mess with your code, tell you whatever they want. That is completely fine. It is not allowed, on the other hand, for other students, but it is allowed for TAs. Totally allowed for TAs and professors. Okay, so what else do I want to say about this? I think this is basically it. So what you're going to do is you'll go to your lab section, and then so office hours will not be 24 hours, because I think some TAs sleep at some point, and so that's a problem for them. But whatever. Okay. So no. You can send emails to your TAs at any time. Don't expect them to respond, immediately, but you can send an email to your TA at any time. You can send me an email at any time. I will ask that you try not to DM me on Discord. The reason is not that it's like the worst thing to do. It's just that sometimes if a project is about to be due, like I'll get 20 messages on Discord, like DMs. And so the thing that you notice is that if you click on a Discord message and then you click away to the next message, you'll notice that you don't get a notification anymore, even if you haven't responded. So basically, I will sometimes, basically no help after 6 p.m. No. I mean, if you need my personal help, I can be around after 6, but the TAs are not required to be here after 6. All right. Basically, the rule is for discussions and labs is at least show up and be in your section, and be ready to get a lecture at the time that you've signed up for discussion. So whatever that time is, that's the time where you have to be there. Okay. I think, are there any other questions about this? Otherwise, I'm going to move on to actually setting up GL. Cool. There we are. So, all right, so let's set up GL. So if you are a new student here, or new to all of this, then let me show you what to do. You'll type in google.com. And this is if you're on Windows, okay? If you're on Windows, so actually let me, basically let me explain it this way. So here is you. You are a human. And here is your computer. Okay? Most people have laptops now, so I'll draw it as a laptop. No, I don't care about browsers. So here's you and here's your laptop. You know, you type, this is typing, right? You type on your laptop. And so your laptop is now going to connect through SSH to a GL server, right? Big box. Yeah, I write using this thing. And so if you're on Windows, just for simplicity's sake, you need to have a program on your computer. You need, well, terrible, terrible, terrible. You need PuTTY. If you're on Mac or Linux or Chromebook, which is actually some kind of version of Linux, then you open a terminal and use SSH command. So I will show you how to do both of these things in about 10 seconds, 20 seconds. So let's begin, okay? So here is the diagram. So here's our computer, and then here is us interacting with the Linux server. So let me show you how all this works, okay? So the first thing you do on Windows is you type in PuTTY. And the first thing that comes up for me, at least, is this thing here. So you click on PuTTY, and then you go to download PuTTY. And then you're like, well, I don't know, am I 64 or 32-bit? Almost no one is 32-bit anymore, but it really doesn't matter. You can do 32 or 64-bit, mainly because 32-bit will run on a 64-bit computer. So it don't matter, okay? So here you are. Download one of these and install it, okay? Let me exit. Yes. Okay, let me pull up PuTTY. So when you pull up PuTTY, this is what you will see. Okay? And so what you are going to type is you type gl.umbc.edu into hostname. Okay? So once you've typed gl.umbc.edu into the hostname, let me make sure that I have the font size set correctly. Appearance. Keyboard, no, window. colors. I forget. Ah, here it is. Let me set it to 20. Okay. Then you hit open. So then it's going to go to this screen here. All right. So I'm going to log in as Eric8 because that's my UMBC ID. It's the same thing as your email, but it's just not your email, right? You don't type in @ enter. Then you get this, okay? You might also get a security warning the first time, which is just sending you a key, so ignore that. And now you type your password, which is password password, and then you hit enter. Now you notice here, I typed in a password. You heard the clickety-clack of the keyboard, but you notice something. This does not move, right? This little thingy does not move. So it doesn't know anything about anything. Then you hit enter. Okay, then you're in. Oh. Cool. So what do you do here? So what is this, right? So now this program PuTTY has linked you up, right, to the Linux server on so this has connected us to the Linux server. So actually, this is what it's done is it's put us in a directory, and let me show you what directory we're in. PWD stands for Present Working Directory, and so we are in this random place. We are in AFS umbc.edu users eric8 /home. And so if I hit ls, enter, then I will see all the stuff that's in that's in this directory, okay? Of course, it's going to yell at me that it's not empty. But okay, whatever. So I'll go and kill it later. So right now, say you want to make a directory. So I'm going to go make dir CMSC 201, enter. And so now if you do ls, you will see here a CMSC 201 directory. Now you're not going to see all this extra crap. This is my account, so I see a lot of additional garbage that you will not see. But here is the directory I just created, right? Make dir CMSC 201, here's CMSC 201. And so then you will go, in order to change directory, you use cd. So cd CMSC 201, enter. And now you're in CMSC 201. Before I go on here, yeah, probably. Yeah, let's try it. Cool. So, all right. So now, what am I going to do? Right, I want to show people how to log in on Mac and Linux. So if you use Linux or Mac, here is my Ubuntu installation. Let me pull this up. So I'm going to kill the terminal here, close terminal. And so basically what we're going to do here to log in, we're going to right click and then we're going to open terminal. You might have to go like through some kind of start menu or something, or like, you know, you might have to be like terminal, or alternatively, you might have to, if you're on a Mac, which I don't have a virtual Mac installation, so to do it on a Mac, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go to applications, then you go to utilities, and then you go to terminal. So applications, utilities, terminal. I think that's right for most for Macs. Okay. So once you have a terminal pulled up, this terminal, if I ls here, this is actually stuff on my machine here. This is not the Unix server in the school. So how do we get to the Unix server in the school? Well, what we do, instead of downloading PuTTY, and this is true for Mac and it's true for Linux, you go ssh gl.umbc.edu, and then here's the problem. Most of you, if you're using Linux or if you're using Mac, your username is not going to be the same as the username for you at the school, so you're going to have to do a -l, so that's a hyphen right here, not, well, I don't know what else it would be, hyphen and then L, and then you will type in Eric8, or not, you won't type in Eric8, you will type in your username. Okay? So Eric8, and then you see that it's doing the same thing that the PuTTY did. It says unauthorized access, blah, 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 blah. This system is blah, blah, blah. What's your password? So I'm going to type in my password, which is ABCD1234. Then I hit enter. Cool. So now I'm in. That's the Windows command. Sorry. So once you're in, and clears the screen. I'm just doing that for clarity. Right. Okay. So then what do we do? Right. I'm going to ls. So we see that here's the CMSC 201 directory that I created. The installer doesn't work for PuTTY. Anyway, okay. So in order to change directories, we're going to go cd CMSC 201, enter. And then I'm going to ls, and you see there's nothing in here. If I hit pwd, it's going to show me AFS, umbc.edu, users, ER, Eric8, home, and then here's the new directory I've created. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another directory, makedir homeworks. And then I'm going to change the directory, and I'll just ls to show you that it exists, and then change directory into homeworks. And then finally, I'm going to make one final directory, hw0, and then I'm going to cd into hw0. And now I'll show you that we are currently in AFS, umbc.edu, users, ER, Eric8, home, and then here's the new directories I've created. So CMSC 201, homeworks, homework 0. All right? So that's what you have to do. Okay? So if you've never used the command line before, this is probably something of a culture shock. But, yeah. So once you're in here, we're going to use Emacs, and I'm going to say homework0.py, enter. And then basically here, I am going to open up the homework 0. Let's see, where is homework 0? Trying to find homework 0. So many tabs, and most of them are not homework 0. Oh, you know what I could do? I could just open it again, because here it is. I could open it. There we go. So here's homework 0. Basically, what does homework 0 want us to do? So I'm going to skip all this stuff. So it's going to say cd into CMSC 201. So that's assuming you've already done it. CD homeworks, cool. ls at this point, you'll see nothing. Makedir homework 0. You can either make it lowercase or uppercase, it doesn't matter. CD into homework 0, which is what I've done. And then finally, we are going to Emacs into homework0.py. that is what this homework assignment wants us to do. So what I'm going to do yeah, so I really, again, I do not care about the Vim versus Emacs thing. I don't actually use Emacs for anything. The only thing I use it for is just modifying a few files on the GL server when you have to. So most of the time I don't use either one of those things. So, okay, because both are terrible. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste the big comment thing into the description into the assignment. So I'll copy it here and I will paste it by right-clicking. I guess right-click paste. Yeah, again, it's absolutely, it doesn't matter. The date is going to be 8/31. My lab section is going to be 11. My username is 8. And okay. So now we're going to get you back to Pycharm in a minute. Pycharm is where we're going. But first we have to take a stop off here. So in order to save on Emacs, you hit Control X and then Control S. So what I mean by that is that you hit literally the Control and the X key at the same time, and then you hit the Control and the S key at the same time, and that'll write. To exit, these are the two commands that I'll teach. Control X, Control C, and that will quit. What is this? Save. Cool. Those are the two things that you need right now. You don't need anything else. And then basically you have to type print. This is going to be a great semester. Now, keep in mind that this is actually, so this is a comment in Python, and this is an actual function call in Python. So calling the print function, you will need to use print, all in lowercase, right? All in lowercase. Remember the quotation marks, and also remember the start and end parentheses. Okay. And that's really it. That's all you got to do. This is homework 0. Once you're done with this, then you're basically finished. Now I can exit out of Python Emacs. So I'm going to exit out of Emacs, Control X, Control C, and now I'm out of Emacs. Okay? Oh, just one little thing. Oh no, I'll teach you that later. Don't worry about it right now. So, cool. So now you hit ls, and now you see two files. You see homework0.py, and you see homework0.py tilde. So don't worry about homework0.py tilde. It's a backup file that Emacs makes. Don't worry about it at all. Here's homework0.py. And so, good question. How do you get a grade on it? So the first thing that you want to do is you want to test that your program ran correctly. So what we're going to do is type in Python 3. And the 3 is necessary because if you just type Python, it will be Python 2, and we don't want that. So Python 3, and you say homework0.py, enter, and it prints out this is going to be a great semester. So nice. Okay, cool. So now what? So now that you've done this, you're convinced that your program works, right? This is where you're going to be spending all your time. You're not actually going to be spending your time doing the making of directories and all this stuff. You're going to be usually spending your time in Emacs or in Pycharm working on your code. But let's say you're done, which we are done. So then we go submit CMSC 201. Now this has to be typed exactly. This, you cannot type CS 201, you can't type capitals, you can't type, basically like think of all the things that you could possibly vary about this and then don't do any of those things. This must be exactly CMSC 201. Oh, if it says invalid syntax, then you have to check your syntax. Then that means that your Python program didn't work. You're either missing an end paren or you're missing quotation marks or something like that. Okay. Yep, that's what it would say. So then you submit that, and then the next thing you have to type is HW0 for homework 0. This has to be in caps, so not this. And then you have to type the file name, and it has to be exact. So if you type homework0.py, it's going to say cannot open the source file, right? Or if you pick an assignment that doesn't exist, it'll say this project is not defined by blah, 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 blah. That means, oh, wait, there's no homework 12. Okay, let's do it right this time. Homework 0, and then homework0.py, enter. I've already submitted because I had one lecture already today where I showed people how to do this. So, do I wish to overwrite? Yes, I do. Enter. Submitting. Okay. Cool. Now, here's how you check to make sure that it was submitted. You can go submit ls CMSC 201 HW0 in caps, enter. And you see here is a random file that I submitted before anything, so ignore that. That should not be there. But what should be there is homework0.py. That's all you care about. That's all that matters. If you then ls, I guess LA, then this is your current directory, right? So this is where you currently are. You have a homework0.py. Its size is 418 bytes, okay? The size on the submit system is 418 bytes. That means that they're the same. Or at least they're the same size. But usually you're not going to... Usually it's not going to... Anything you do is going to change the size of the program, so unless you keep the exact number of characters the same. So generally this is a good way to check to make sure your submission's up to date. You can also see when the file was created. This was created 3 minutes before I hit ls here. So it's good. All right. Cool. So, all right, so that's it. That is how you do this on, and now if you did the same thing here, you can do the exact same thing on Putty. You can just go cd homeworks, and you can go cd homework 0, and then you can go like submit CMSC 201 homework 0 hw0.py, right? Both Putty and the SSH terminal in Linux and Macs are giving you a connection to the server, right? So like you can do this. I don't care to overwrite again. Cool. So, all right. So that's that. So the last thing I want to cover in class is how you should actually do your development, right? You should not do your development on the GL server unless you can help it. Save yourself a lot of frustration, a lot of time, a lot of headaches, and do this instead. So let me pull up Pycharm. So what you want to do is you want to go to, DuckDuckGo, and then you want to go to Pycharm. And then you see that here, this link right here is for jetbrains.com /Python. So you click it. Okay, you really click it. Cool, and then it takes you to this website. And so what you do then is you click download. Not a big shocker. And you can download the community version. The professional version comes with a free trial, blah, blah, blah. Don't get that one unless you really want to. That one costs money eventually. You can get a free student license for it, but then you have to like sign up with your student email every year. The community one is completely free. You can do whatever you want. So if you just want no muss, no fuss, you click on download for community, and that's what you do. And so then, and keep in mind here, this says Windows, right? So you will download the Windows version if you click this. If you're on Mac, you click Mac. If you're on Linux, you click Linux. And you notice that there's really not a lot of difference here. So unfortunately, you have to just be a little bit careful, right? Just be like, I want the Linux version, I want the Mac version, I want the Windows version. So you click download, and then you install it, okay? So once you've installed it, what happens is it will open something up that looks kind of like, it won't look like this yet. So this is Pycharm, but it won't look like this yet. What it does look like is, I think it'll have something where basically you can click on like start a new project. And when you click on start a new project, you can name your project. So you'll probably name it something like CMSC 201 Fall20, or you'll name it greatest class ever, or whatever you want to call it. You'll just name it blah, 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 right? You'll name it something, and then you'll click create. All right? So once you click create, of course, now I've done this in the previous lecture, but let me delete this file, I guess, maybe. So this is what you'll see, generally, and you won't see this. And so basically the point is, in order to... so you can do your work on... in Pycharm, but you still have to submit through GL, which is why I... through GL. And so I'll explain in the next class how to copy files from your Pycharm into your GL server. You want to use a program like WinSCP, but I'll go through that in a later lecture. Okay. Okay, so to create a file, you'll be like a new Python file. So there's a lot of options here, right? A lot of options. You just click Python file, and you know, greatest class ever. And so that'll create a new greatest class ever.py file, and you can print out, say, hello, I am a file, right? And then what you can do is, if you right click, you can click on this, or you can click on this. Either way, it'll have a little run here. Control-Shift F10, I guess, will also do it. Let's see if that works. Oh, it worked. So you see here, this is developing on my local system, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. I completely brain-deaded through something. Before you install this, before you do this, you want to install Python on your computer. So, how do you install Python? Well, same way basically. You just go to python.org. Yep, you go to python.org, and I forget where they dump you. I think they dump you here, and then you click download, and you go to download 3.8.5. I think generally you only have to do this on Windows. I think Linux will probably have so the point here is that you want to download the latest version for Windows. You click download. If you're on Linux or Mac, you can download the latest version, but I think there's better ways to upgrade on Linux than that, so you probably don't want to be doing that. Anyway, so yeah, most Linux distributions come with Python, and I think Mac OS probably comes with Python because it's a Linux distribution at this point. So anyway, okay, yeah, so you want to download Python first, and then you download Pycharm. Right. So, okay, but after you've done all that, after you've installed Python, right, install Python first, install Pycharm, And then you're good to go. So yeah, so install Pycharm, install Python, and then you're good to go. And as long as it runs, you're good. If it says that you need to configure an interpreter, then we'll have to help you with that. So anyway, so as it turns out, that's all I really want to discuss today. If you install out of order, then you'll have to tell Pycharm where your Python installation is. So Pycharm is what's called an IDE, an integrated development environment. I can't spell it. Anyway, EN. And so what it allows you to do is it allows you to code Python in a way better way than without it. So there's a lot of great features that you can use. It does kind of make a difference. Can you use VS Code if you want to? There is a great feature that I want to start using in office hours. That you can install a plugin that allows you to do to share your code screen with TAs, which will be nice. But anyway, right, so I guess that's really it for the day. I don't have anything more because, I mean, we'll get started on Python next time. So what have we done? We have talked about the GL system, right? And the GL system is basically a server where all of your stuff is. And then, right, so the GL server is where all of your submit stuff is. So if you want to ever submit, like submit only runs here, right? Submit runs here. So Pycharm runs here on your computer, and Emacs, Vim, whatever, runs here. Generally. I mean, so maybe Emacs also runs on your computer, but this is kind of the point. And so, path character limit, I have no idea. Anyway, okay. So with that, I will so go and do homework 0. Homework 0 is literally just this, right? It's literally just, can you log into the GL system? Can you type the submit command? Do you get the okay? If you've added the class in the past few hours, it's possible that you won't be in the submit system and I'll have to add you. So if you have any problems with submit, contact me. Anything else, just contact me by email. Again, try not to DM me on the server unless you really have to. Yeah. Okay. All right, everyone. Oh, right. And so the last thing I have to say, now that everybody's starting to run away, is that I do want to collapse the lectures. I do want to collapse the lectures. So what that means is that I want to have maybe one lecture at 1 o'clock, and then maybe at 4 o'clock I will get on Discord and just do like tutoring and help. And so people can kind of just join me when you want to. And so if you miss it, so if you're at the 4 o'clock and you can't come in for the 1 o'clock, you can always watch the lecture on YouTube and then just come and join me. You can even just watch the same lecture live and talk to me at the same time or ask me questions. Like, I'll be around during the 4 o'clock hour. I think generally that it will be such an identical lecture that I don't really want to give it twice every day. So I'm probably next week going to stop doing it, but I will do it at least maybe today and Wednesday, okay? Maybe. Yeah, so if you want access to the GRS section, just send me an email and we'll talk about it, okay? All right. Yeah, I think sometimes, maybe I'll alternate, and some weeks I'll do the 1 o'clock lectures, and some weeks I'll do the 4 o'clock. That way that you'll all be able to have access to some live lectures, even if you have classes at the other time. All right? Okay, well, I think that's it for the day. I'll be around on the Discord as I have been. I will be helping people getting logged into GL, which you should do. You should try out Homework Zero. Homework Zero's due date is way far in the future. It's like September 9th, right? So you have like a week and a half to do it. I have 4 monitors. For Homework Zero, you put the section number of your discussion. Okay? What else do I want to say? I think that's basically it. You're free to go. I mean, class has been over for 5 minutes. I'm just kind of answering questions. All right. Yep, I'll be around on Discord. See you there. Peace.